Welcome, spicy ladies. You were made to fit in. You were built to move differently, quietly, precisely, powerfully. Let's be honest, the modern workplace often rewards loud voices, flashy personalities, and people who know how to play the game. But then there's you, the Sigma female. The one who doesn't do fake smiles, doesn't chase approval, and isn't interested in climbing some ladder just to impress people you don't even respect. And yet you still win quietly, strategically, unapologetically. You don't need the spotlight because you know your value doesn't need noise. You read people, systems, and power shifts like a second language while others are distracted by gossip and recognition. You're over here building your own playbook, working smarter, moving cleaner, and staying 10 steps ahead without even trying to prove a point. This video isn't about generic boss babe energy or sugar-coated advice. This is for the women who move in silence, who are often underestimated, and who use that underestimation to their full advantage. You're not just surviving the workplace, you're bending it around your strengths even if no one sees it happening. You're a Sigma female and your power isn't loud. It's undeniable. You don't follow paths, you build them. So, if you've ever felt like you operate on a different frequency, good. That's exactly where your edge lives. Watch this video to the end. You're going to see just how deeply your difference works in your favor. The game doesn't need to be loud when you're the one silently mastering it. Number 1, speak less, strike better. In most workplaces, people think the louder you are, the more you'll be taken seriously. So, meetings turn into noise fests. Everyone talking just to be heard, throwing around buzzwords, trying to sound smart. But Sigma females, they don't fall into that trap. They speak less, but when they do, it lands like a mic drop. They're not shy, they're not passive, they're strategic. While others are blurting out half-formed thoughts or repeating what's already been said, she's watching, listening, reading the room. She's processing what's being said and what's not being said. And when she finally speaks, it's not filler, it's impact. Her words don't just pass through the air. They stick because she's not speaking to fill silence. She's speaking to shift something, to change the direction of the conversation, to say what no one else is bold enough or clear enough to say. And that's why people take notice. You don't need to dominate every discussion when you've built a reputation for saying the one thing that actually matters. Over time, people start turning to her not for volume, but for clarity. They know when she opens her mouth, something useful is coming. This quiet power throws people off. They're used to performers, not precision. But the Sigma female doesn't need to show off. She doesn't need attention. She lets her insight do the heavy lifting. And it does. The truth is, in a room full of noise, the calm, clear voice cuts the deepest. It doesn't rush. It doesn't shout. It just hits. And that's her superpower. So, while others are busy trying to be heard, she's mastering the art of saying just enough and making it unforgettable. Speak less, strike better, and let your silence build the tension for your words to break through. Number 2, make systems, not friends. Most people in the workplace focus on being liked, chit-chat in the break room, office birthdays, bonding over weekend plans. And while that might create short-term comfort, Sigma females don't invest their energy there. They're not cold, they're calculated. They know that friendships don't keep a project from falling apart, and popularity doesn't protect you when the pressure hits. So instead of collecting friends, they build systems. What does that mean? It means she spends her time creating workflows that make her less dependent on anyone. She builds templates, creates checklists, automates whatever she can. While others are scrambling, asking around, or waiting on someone to help, she's already done and 2 steps ahead. Why? Because she designed her own way of working. Lean, fast, and independent. This doesn't mean she's antisocial. It means she doesn't need constant collaboration to function. She doesn't rely on a quick favor or wait for a teammate to fill in the blanks. She runs like a well-oiled machine because she set it up that way, quietly, strategically, without needing applause. The beauty of this mindset when chaos hits, and it always does, she doesn't crumble. She doesn't panic when someone's out sick or when a team falls apart. She doesn't need permission to move forward because her system is already built to adapt. She knows where every file is, what the next step is, and how to handle roadblocks on her own. People start to notice that. They may not say it, but they respect it. While others rely on charm or team chemistry to stay afloat, she's built something stronger: reliability. Her setup works whether people like her or not. And in a world where things change fast and office dynamics shift overnight, being a one-woman system isn't just smart, it's powerful. Because Sigma females don't just survive the workplace, they optimize it. Number 3, they don't chase mentors, they become one. In the workplace, people are always told, find a mentor. Get someone to guide you. And sure, that works for some. But Sigma females move differently. They don't sit around waiting to be noticed or handpicked by some higher up. They don't play the please teach me game. Instead, they study everything and everyone quietly, intentionally, and then they become the one everyone else ends up learning from. Sigma females aren't loud about it, but they're like sponges. They absorb lessons from the overly controlling boss. They learn from watching who cracks under pressure. They take mental notes when someone handles a disaster with calm, or when someone lets ego ruin everything. Every interaction is a class, every mistake a warning, every win a strategy to file away. They don't worship titles. They don't put people on pedestals because they've seen too many so-called mentors fumble under pressure, give bad advice, or lead from ego instead of wisdom. So rather than chasing some perfect guide, they collect knowledge from everywhere and build their own playbook. And then without even trying, they become the person others turn to. When the usual leaders go silent or start scrambling, it's the Sigma female people seek out. Why? Because she didn't just study how to survive. She studied how to lead, how to think, how to stay grounded when everything's on fire. What makes this so powerful is she never needed permission to grow. She didn't need approval to evolve. She gave herself the green light. She learned, she refined, and she showed up so solid that people couldn't help but respect her, even the ones who overlooked her before. That's the Sigma way. Don't wait to be taught. Teach yourself. Don't chase guidance. Become the example. Because while others are waiting for a mentor to save them, she's already becoming the one who rewrites the entire script. Number 4, they don't trust smiles, they trust patterns. In most workplaces, people fall for the same trap over and over again, thinking that friendliness equals loyalty. A big smile, a nice tone, a compliment here and there, it's easy to assume someone's got your back. But the Sigma female doesn't play that game. She knows better. She's learned that just because someone's friendly doesn't mean they're safe. She doesn't trust smiles. She trusts patterns. Anyone can be nice for a day. Anyone can say the right thing when the boss is around. But Sigma females pay attention to what happens after the meeting ends when no one's watching. She listens to tone shifts. She catches the way someone's story changes from one person to the next. She notices who only shows up when they need something. These aren't coincidences. They're red flags dressed up as small talk. While others are won over by charm, she's quietly collecting data. She doesn't confront. She doesn't gossip. She observes. Every action, every inconsistency, every little shift in behavior, it all gets mentally filed away. And over time, the truth builds itself. No need to dig, no need to accuse. The pattern always shows up. This is why she rarely gets blindsided. People might call her distant or slow to warm up, but that distance is protection. It gives her space to see people before she lets them close. Because once you've been burned by someone who smiled to your face and stabbed you in the back, you stop listening to words and you start watching what people do. And that's what separates the Sigma female from everyone else. While others get caught off guard by betrayal, she saw it coming months ago. Because people lie, people pretend. But patterns don't lie, and she's always watching. Not to be paranoid, but to be prepared. Because in a world full of masks, the one who studies the pattern becomes the one who never gets played. Number 5, they keep their distance from office cliques. In the workplace, there's always a social game going on. Who's friends with who? Who's in the manager's inner circle? Who goes for lunch together every day? laughing loudly, and acting like being part of the clique is the golden ticket to success. But the Sigma female, she's not interested. She keeps her distance not because she's cold, but because she sees the trap. She's not there to collect friends, and she's definitely not there to feed into office gossip. She watches how people move, who switches sides when it benefits them, who talks behind backs in one breath and smiles in the next. She sees the games and politely steps around them. People might assume she's aloof or unfriendly, but they've got it all wrong. She's not antisocial. She's just selectively visible. She knows how to be professional, respectful, and even kind, but she's not going to pretend just to fit in. If the vibes are fake, she's out. If the room is full of masks, she'd rather sit alone and breathe. What makes her so different is that she doesn't need the crowd to feel confident. She doesn't need to be part of the in-group to get things done. She prefers staying low-key, keeping her intentions to herself, and making moves that no one saw coming. She networks in her own way, quietly, deeply, and with people she actually trusts. While cliques waste time playing politics, the Sigma female is collecting data, watching who's consistent, noticing who folds under pressure, learning how the system really works, and when it's time to make a move, she doesn't need backup. She's already positioned herself perfectly. She doesn't chase belonging. She builds her own lane. And in the long run, while others are stuck trying to please each other, she's 10 steps ahead, focused, calm, and free from the emotional mess that cliques always bring. Number 6, they outperform without broadcasting it. While others are busy shouting about what they might do, the Sigma female is already doing it and doing it well. She doesn't need a round of applause every time she hits a deadline or saves the day behind the scenes. In fact, you'll usually find her finishing a task in half the time with double the quality and absolutely zero drama. Why? Because her worth isn't built on praise. It's built on proof. In most workplaces, the loudest voices get the attention. People who exaggerate their contributions sit in endless meetings just to be seen and constantly remind others of how busy they are. But Sigma females aren't wired that way. They don't have time for showmanship. They don't operate on ego. Their focus is always on the result, not the recognition. They outperform without the parade. And when someone tries to take credit for their work, they're ready. She's got receipts, data, results, cold facts that speak for themselves. She doesn't argue, she demonstrates. And that's a power very few people know how to deal with. What makes this so powerful is how unpredictable it is. Most people don't see her coming. They assume she's quiet, maybe even passive. But when it matters, she steps up with precision and impact that leaves everyone stunned. That's the Sigma move. Don't talk about it. Deliver it. And the best part, she doesn't care if they clap. She's not working for validation. She's working for freedom. Freedom to choose her path. Freedom to walk away. Freedom to build something of her own without begging anyone for permission. So next time someone underestimates you because you're not the loudest in the room, remember silence is your advantage. Let your work do the talking. And when it speaks, it echoes. Number 7, they learn the hidden language of power. Power in the workplace isn't always about job titles or who sits in the corner office. It's often about what's not said. The awkward silence in meetings, the tension between team leads, the subtle change in how people respond to each other. And while most people miss these signs, Sigma females pick up on them instantly. She doesn't just listen to what people say, she watches how they say it. The hesitation in someone's voice, the forced smile, the shift in energy when a certain name is mentioned, she catches it all. It's not magic. It's her ability to read between the lines while others are still stuck on the surface. Sigma females learn the hidden language of power not from books, but from observation. She sees who suddenly stops speaking in meetings, who starts double-checking everything with the boss, who used to lead with confidence and now keeps their head down. She doesn't need a memo to know someone's falling out of favor or someone else is silently rising. She feels it in the air. This gives her a major advantage. While others are blindsided by power shifts, she's already adjusted, already repositioned, already formed quiet alliances that keep her protected and ready for whatever comes next. The most dangerous part, people don't realize she's studying them. She asks few questions, but she remembers everything. She sees who plays dirty, who's loyal when no one's watching, who panics when things don't go their way. That knowledge is power, and she knows exactly how to use it without ever raising her voice. While others are focused on getting noticed, she's focused on getting smart. And when a shakeup happens, she's not surprised. She's prepared. That's the Sigma edge. Understanding the game without needing to become a player in it. Watching, learning, and moving with quiet precision that most people never see coming. Right now, if you are still watching. I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. Number 8. Stay emotionally unavailable at work. Emotions can be powerful. There's no doubt about that. But when it comes to the workplace, emotions can quickly turn from assets to liabilities. For Sigma females, staying emotionally unavailable at work isn't about being cold or detached. It's about maintaining control. Workplace dynamics often thrive on drama, gossip, and emotional highs and lows. People get caught up in personal conflicts, power plays, and the occasional office crush. While others indulge in these distractions, Sigma females keep their emotional boundaries intact. She knows that getting emotionally entangled with a colleague, whether it's friendship, rivalry, or anything in between, can cloud judgment and blur the lines of professionalism. Instead, she keeps interactions sharp, neutral, and to the point. She doesn't overshare about her personal life, doesn't get involved in office gossip, and certainly doesn't let anyone drag her into the emotional chaos of the office. She knows that to thrive, she must stay focused, objective, and clear-headed. This emotional distance creates something unique, mystique. People can't figure her out, and that's a power move. When everyone else is wearing their emotions on their sleeves, she's the one they can't read. They might try to guess her intentions or speculate about her next move, but they'll never know for sure. And that uncertainty gives her the upper hand. Being emotionally unavailable in the workplace also allows the Sigma female to make decisions based on logic, strategy, and the bigger picture. Never on impulse or emotional reaction. In a room full of people reacting emotionally, she's the one who keeps her head cool and her moves calculated. So, while the world around her gets caught in drama, she's silently rising above with an emotional armor that protects her from distraction and strengthens her ability to act with precision. She doesn't let her feelings dictate her actions, and that's how she takes control. Number 9. Hack the system ethically. Boredom is often seen as the enemy. In the structured, repetitive environments that many of us find ourselves in, it can feel like a slow drag. The monotony kicks in and people start to clock watch, scroll through social media, or count the minutes until the day is over. But for Sigma females, boredom isn't something to run from. It's a trigger. Instead of letting boredom breed frustration or apathy, she harnesses it. When she finds herself stuck in a mind-numbing routine, she doesn't check out. She checks into what she can create. Boredom becomes her catalyst, pushing her to do more than just coast through the day. It's the moment she uses to level up, to evolve, to think bigger. While others complain about being stuck, she sees the empty space as an opportunity. Boredom forces her to get creative, to step outside the box and build something new. She might use that downtime to launch a side hustle, learn a new skill, or start reworking the very system she's been feeling trapped in. The energy that others waste on frustration, she channels into transformation. And here's the kicker. No one sees it coming. While the office is buzzing about the latest gossip or getting lost in the monotony, she's quietly mastering a niche skill, refining her side business, or reshaping the way she works to optimize every part of her day. Before anyone realizes, she's miles ahead with more opportunities, more skills, and more power because she knew how to turn the quiet, boring moments into something productive for her. Boredom isn't a curse. It's the launch pad. It's the time she uses to step out of the cycle and into something better. So the next time boredom hits, don't fight it. Embrace it. Use it as fuel to build, create, and push yourself forward. Number 10. Prepare to outgrow the workplace entirely. There's a point that comes for every Sigma female. A quiet, undeniable moment when the very thing that once worked for you starts to feel like a cage. You've mastered the system, outperformed expectations, and proven yourself time and time again. But instead of feeling fulfilled, something starts to itch. You look around and realize the system, this structure, this office, it's too small for you. The rules, the limits, the ceiling, they just don't fit anymore. It's not a sudden epiphany. It's the culmination of growth, quiet observation, and knowing your worth. For a while, the grind was satisfying, even fulfilling. But now the challenge isn't in making it to the top of the ladder. It's realizing you've outgrown the ladder entirely. And that's when the real shift happens. Instead of playing the game by someone else's rules, you start to build your own game. You take the skill set, the confidence, and the network you've developed, and you start to create something bigger. Whether it's launching your own business, building a personal brand, or leaving a legacy that no corporate structure could ever contain, you begin to build outside the system. Because Sigma females don't wait for permission. They don't wait for some boss to tell them they've earned the next step. They create their own steps. They have the vision, the intelligence, and the quiet ambition to step away from a system that no longer challenges them and build something from scratch that reflects their true potential. When this moment comes, it's not about being disloyal or disgruntled. It's about realizing that your growth and vision can no longer be boxed in. You've learned how to thrive within the system, but now you're ready to create your own. So if you feel that itch, that urge to break free, it's not a crisis, it's your cue. Prepare to outgrow the workplace entirely. The world is waiting for what you're about to build. Number 11, become the fixer quietly. In every workplace, there comes a moment when things fall apart. Deadlines collapse, systems glitch, people panic, and that's when most freeze or look around hoping someone else will step up. But the Sigma female, that's when she rises. Not with drama, not with noise, just quiet, focused action. No cape, no speech, just solutions. She doesn't need a title to lead. She doesn't wait for permission to act. She sees a problem, sizes it up, and gets to work while everyone else is still busy assigning blame or spiraling into anxiety. And the best part, she does it without making it about her. No grandstanding, no look at me, just results. You might not even know she's the one who fixed it until you realize the issue is gone and somehow everything's back on track. She doesn't need applause. What she wants is control over chaos because it gives her power to move on her terms. That's the kind of leadership that can't be taught. It's instinctual, built from observation, independence, and a refusal to rely on anyone to save the day. Over time, this quiet capability earns her a reputation. She becomes the person people turn to when it matters. Not for small talk, not for gossip, but when something's on fire and needs a calm, sharp mind to put it out. They may not know exactly how she does it, but they know she delivers every single time. And that's where the real influence comes from. Not from being loud, not from chasing credit, but from becoming indispensable. The one who knows how to fix what others can't even understand. Sigma females don't chase the spotlight, they become the solution. And in a world full of chaos and talkers, being the quiet fixer isn't just rare, it's legendary. Here's the truth. The workplace wasn't built with Sigma females in mind. It was built for the loudest voices, the polished networkers, the status chasers. But somehow you quietly, skillfully still managed to rise through it. And not because you follow the rules, but because you understand them better than most. You don't need the spotlight to prove your worth. You let your results speak. You observe when others overshare. You move when others hesitate. That's not just strength. That's strategy. Being a Sigma female in the workplace means knowing when to engage and when to detach. It means staying calm when others are spiraling, seeing 10 steps ahead while they're still reacting to step 1. You don't chase approval, and you definitely don't waste energy trying to fit in. Instead, you build your own space, earn silent respect, and protect your peace like it's currency because it is. You're not misunderstood because you're weak. You're misunderstood because most people have never seen someone like you up close. Someone who doesn't announce every move. Someone who doesn't crumble under pressure. Someone who doesn't need a crowd to feel valuable. You walk through fire and barely make a sound. That's power. So if you ever feel out of place in meetings, passed over in conversations, or overlooked by those who play louder games, don't shrink. You're not behind. You're building quietly, strategically, authentically. You're not here to blend in. You're here to shift the atmosphere one silent, calculated move at a time. Never forget, you're not just surviving the system. You're rewriting it without even needing permission. That's the Sigma way. And if you're nodding right now, it's because deep down you know exactly who you are. Keep building, keep watching, keep moving. The world may not always clap for you, but it will feel your impact. Thank you for watching, Spicy Ladies, and God bless.